Thank you for joining us. So it means so much to me personally, as you know, that you've gotten involved with Emily's List, and you've been involved with Emily's List since your first election to the House of Representatives in 2013. So can you talk a little bit about that election and how you got to know the organization?
Yeah, when I was thinking about running, Emily's List was one of the first calls I made. And well before I went through their endorsement process, they were there for me, giving me tips on how to hire consultants, how to put together a professional campaign, what it would look like, where I should be spending my time, how much money would I have to raise, all those sort of components that I had done on a smaller scale, but were intimidating to start out with running for Congress in a much bigger district in a very competitive special election. And I'll always be grateful. And I remember exactly the day talking and walking away from that conversation thinking, with Emily's List help, I can do this. And that help continued through. And I was lucky enough to win the endorsement. But all through the campaign, there was so much advice and consultation and good humor to help me put together a winning campaign. After the 2016 election, I really decided that I wanted to be active in recruiting women, candidates of color, and other just great candidates to run as Democrats, to come and join us and help us put together an amazing caucus of House Democrats in the 2018 midterms. So I was vice chair of recruiting and then co-chaired the Red to Blue program. And Paul, I got to travel the country and see districts very different from my own, but they were all united by the same concerns. How do we help our families succeed? And for me and for Emily's List, one of those ways is electing women. Because we know when women are at the leadership table, when women are making decisions, the priorities change. And so to give that kind of help, get to know those candidates, whether it was doing the same sort of help, advice, and mentoring that Emily's List did for me and for so many of the women candidates running, or just being a friend and telling them that as a mom, they may not feel like they're being a good parent or a good candidate, and that's totally natural, but that they can do this and their voice is important. And I have brought that experience to the leadership table as we have elected the most diverse caucus in the history of Congress with Emily's List help. I wanted to make sure that that wasn't just a talking point, but that we really incorporated women's experience, their different perspectives and life experiences into the policies that we do. And so I know those texts, those emails, those conversations that I have with women in our caucus and women of color, they are the experiences of women throughout the country, and they represent how we can move forward and make sure we're lifting up all voices in our communities.